Ball first and 10 at the 12-yard line of the Seahawks. Sean goes right, has a cutback lane, and he does. He's across the 20, the 25, 30, 35, 40. Here he goes. Are they going to catch him? 40, 35, 30. Touchdown, Seahawks! 12, they're bringing the trophy home. Your Seahawks, Super Bowl 48 champions. Holy catfish! Baldwin's going to throw back to Russell. He's got it! Touchdown! Seahawks! Are you kidding me?
Let's Hawk It Out with your hosts Kevin Porter and Rich Harris.
And we're live. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Hawk It Out. I'm Kevin Porter, joined as always by my co-host Rich Harris. What's up, buddy?
Oh, Kevin, very disappointed today. Very disappointed. I think we got, I don't want to say a lot of subject matter like I usually like to say. I think we got a little subject matter because I don't like talking too much about a loss because there wasn't really a whole lot of positives on our side, but I think we can talk about it either way. Very disappointed.
Unfortunately, your Seattle Seahawks did fall to the Carolina Panthers 30-24, Rich, ending possibly our hopes for a wild card spot. I know going into today's game, we were secured. I think based on the Giants' loss, we did have our did have a spot in the wild card, but right now I think that spot is possibly in jeopardy after today's loss, dude.
Yeah, well, definitely, and that's one of the notes I took is: are we worthy of even a playoff? Are we going to be a playoff contender even if we do get one of those spots? And then at the end of the day, I thought maybe hopefully the Bucs would beat the 49ers today, and then we could get the win on the Carolina Panthers, and then we'd be going tied. Overall, I think 8-5, and then tied 4-1 in the division for Thursday Night Football. But
yeah,
our end didn't develop.
Well, going after today's loss, right now we are outside of the playoff race. The New York Giants, are with a 7-5 record, are stepping above us here, getting back into the playoffs even despite their loss. It was just a lot of things happened today, Rich, here on this Sunday. I mean, a lot of things went really well for the NFC South, as we saw, at least for the Carolina Panthers. I mean, by beating the Seattle Seahawks and also the San Francisco 49ers, putting a whooping on Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Carolina Panthers, man, they're still outside the realm, but man, they proved a point here in Seattle today. That's for sure.
I guess to go back to your original question, we have a possibility to jump back in there, I think, but that window's closing. And today was one of those days to me that showed, is it even worth it? Are we going to even, if we do get to that first playoff game, are we going to contend? And I'm not saying give up, but I'm just saying this is those signs where if we don't make it, then maybe it just obviously wasn't meant to be. I don't know. I'm not going to, I don't know. I'm just a little disappointed today. And that window is closing. So that's a great question. Can we stay into the wild card race? It's getting a small amount of time before we will be able to know that.
Well, it was, obviously today's game started off from the very get-go. I mean, our defense allows a field goal. Okay, we've been seeing that all season, Rich. But then Geno, right from the very get-go, throws the interception. And then Carolina goes on to score a touchdown, making it a 10-0 game. Then obviously, getting the extra touchdown. At one point it was 17-0 before we started mounting a comeback. Going into the half, I felt pretty confident that hey, this is a winnable game. We're not out of it yet, and it just. Our defense stood strong on the goal line, dude. In the red zone, we kept them out of the end zone. It should have been 56-0, 17 or some shit, dude. The score really could have gotten out of hand there, but luckily our defense, really stood tall today. But unfortunately, Geno, the Carolina defense had Geno's number today. It just seemed like
there was a big imbalance today. Defense to offense, you bet. And the defense did when they had their time and their part to do, they did it. Geno had a very off day. He had the first multi-pick season in his 8 years is what they noted. He also was just decision-making wasn't on par with what Geno Smith normally does and what we've been witnessing this year. He didn't make those decisions to throw it away like he normally would or take off running. He did a few times, and I was like, come on, Geno, run, and he finally did. Other times where he tried to do a little pirouette or a little Russell Wilson type move or whatever, and it didn't work. But when he had the conviction to take off and do something, it would. Conviction to throw it away when he should, it works. But today he wasn't making those decisions very quickly. So it was, I think I'm going to blame a lot of it on Geno today. He had a very off day, and the offense was very dysfunctional as a result. But when the defense had to sit there and stop Carolina from scoring, other than the run, which we suck at still,
we still suck at.
we do. We can't stop the run. They had a very good running game on us. And at the end of the day, the defense did their best to keep us in the game, but our offense just could not capitalize on any of those opportunities that were even posed by the defense. It was just, it was just very off balance. And I guess the reason I'm so depressed, we're a home team. We're at home, and it's like, wait a second, I was telling the wife early on, we're going to have at least 3 false starts today with the crowd. The 12s are going to be so loud. Carolina looks discombobulated to me. I was just like, right off the bat, there was one. I was like, one, So, but at the end of the day, they came to town. We could have capitalized with the 12s, everything else, and we were just stalled for some reason offensively. If that offense would have got inspired and gotten rocking, can you imagine how much that defense would have had time to breathe? And, the offense just never really got going.
Well, we had that one drive, right before the half, with Lockett's touchdown, which shout out Tyler Lockett, dude, because I thought that was an amazing touchdown catch. I was watching it live, watching it real time, and I'm like, no way. I thought he was out, dude, but then they showed the replay and they slowed it down. I was like, whoa, tippy toes in. Tyler Lockett for the touchdown, Rich.
I definitely have that on my notes here, dude. We were going to touch on that for sure.
Yeah.
You know how we always talk about. Yes, definitely.
To me, that was the play of the game.
Flintstone, right? And he's the master of that. The master. Even the freaking announcers were talking about that. Dude, it happened so fast. I was like, did he do it? And my wife was like, oh, for sure. I'm like, come on. I'm like, really? She was like, no, I saw it. I was like, it happened so fast for me. Yeah. And of course, he's a master of that. He's probably one of the best in the last 10 years of that. And I'm sure they'll pull up the history on it, like ESPN or something, after tonight, because he's a master of it. He's very good at that.
It's going to be really interesting to hear what Pete Carroll has to say after today's loss, because, not to say we've been limping into this game. I mean, obviously we had the come from behind win, with the LA Rams last week and whatnot. And I felt like we had good momentum going into Carolina, or back playing from home against Carolina this week. This marks our second straight home loss this season. Definitely not typical of the Seattle Seahawks. Man, again, we had so many opportunities today that were just wasted. It felt like you said, got stalled. We got stalled out on the offense. And yeah, I guess you really do got to put a lot of the pressure on Geno Smith, in terms of what happened today, man. I don't know, dude. I mean, maybe it was just a one-off. I don't know, dude. But for going 1-3, 1-2 in the last, 4 weeks or so, I'm not holding my breath when it comes to, again, if we do make it to the wild card, here in the next several weeks, if we're able to manage some sort of, magical scenario playing out. Again, I don't know, man. Just like you said, I'm not too sure that they can pull off anything within the playoffs if we were to make it to the playoffs.
Well, let's look at it this way. And now that you said all that, I was just sitting here focusing on everything you said. Let's just go into next week. The 49ers, it's obviously the division rival.
It's a short week, Rich. It's a short week.
And we have to catch up on them anyhow. So we will have more knowledge on what our playoff possibilities are definitely after next week.
After Thursday.
Well, it's a division rival and everything. Yep. Yeah, the picture will become clearer.
Yep.
And you and I can sit here and talk about it forever, but really next Thursday, and we both have the same, only 4 days prepared, but they have to travel. We don't. We're still at home. That's an advantage every time, no matter if it's a half a day or a day. We still have that advantage. It's a short week for both of us, but we have the advantage there because we're at home. And we got to get back that home field advantage as well. So we better go back at our facility and learn from this in the next 4 days, so that we can take this latest black eye and not put some makeup on it, but heal up and go back like we are meant to go into the playoffs, so that we can actually go into the playoffs. And I'm not saying you're not meant to get there, you get there. Sometimes you can make it either way, but it's always nice to go in the playoffs strong with a team that can show they can make it, with the resilience to make it, like we talk about. And that's the way I want my team to go into the playoffs, because I want to get excited for a team that can go deep and fucking win it. We always want to go for it all. So you get the opportunity, let's do it and let's be prepared.
Damn, dude. Gino almost threw 4 interceptions today. He's lucky that 2 of them got away, because there was one that was clearly out of bounds, and then there was the other one that I think they called it an interception, but then they called it back after review. Gino got lucky on that front, dude. I mean, he went 21 for 36, 264 yards. He was only averaging 7.3 yards, 3 touchdowns nonetheless, but he was sacked 3 times also for 23 yards lost, dude. So, I mean, the storyline was pretty interesting also today. They talked about it on the broadcast, but the 2 Jet draft picks here in today's game with Sam Darnold going up against Geno Smith. They said this is Carolina's first road win since November of last year. This is Sam Darnold's first start of the year, and they come in and just I know my cousin Josh up in Moses Lake, if he's listening right now, I know he's a happy camper because he's a big Carolina Panthers fan. But man, it just, again, dude, it's never a fun Sunday when the Seahawks lose.
Yeah, especially when they come into your house and just show you who's boss. That's never fun. You can't kick them out, and tell them, ha, bye-bye. Can't do that. But yeah, it's one of those rough ones. We don't have a whole lot to just brag about, and I don't want to complain. I'm not a complainer, because it is what it is. We're more constructive. We point out the facts. We point out what we saw, and it was, we just, again, Gino had an off day. That's a big imbalance if your quarterback can't get the offense running. And I think that I don't know how else to say the offense wasn't really getting going. I think a lot of it had to do with Gino's decision making today.
Marquise Goodwin actually came in and played pretty well today.
Yeah.
He had the touchdown at the very end. He had 95 yards off 5 receptions. DK, still got 71 yards despite, but it kind of feels like a shutout. Even though he got 75 yards or 71 yards, it feels like it was kind of a shutout today of DK. It definitely, it just...
He wasn't going at first. I was like, where's DK? And he had a little stint there. I think he got a first down at one point. And then I think the quarters reversed, because the next time Gino threw it into a small window. And I had a note here about that, because Tyler Lockett drew a double coverage, and then Gino was able to thread that needle again to DK in the end zone. And those are those exciting ones, because he's a big guy. He can get up and get it. But yeah, other than that, from there, we didn't really have anything after that. And, that's about the only highlights that Gino had for the day, unfortunately. But yeah, the offensive guys, Goodwin, that guy's definitely solidified himself as the third wide receiver.
Yeah, he has.
Remember, we've always been talking about that, I think the last year or two. Who, is D. Eskridge? Is it going to be whoever else we brought in, Josh Gordon, or whoever else we brought in? Trying to always get that solidified third receiver, and Goodwin has definitely solidified that now, in my opinion, because that boy can ball. Did you see that one jump catch that he got? It was up in the air and it looked like it was going to go. He delayed his jump. It was almost like a basketball jump, or it was a track and field type jump too, because they said he was a long jumper maybe.
Yeah, they said he almost qualified for the Olympics back in the day.
That was classic. He totally saw the ball and like delayed his jump and then made the jump like a slow motion jump. I was like,
it was pretty amazing.
It was really cool. It was really cool. So I guess, we did have a lot of positive notes. He did, in my mind, definitely today solidify as our third receiver, and hopefully we can keep him going forward because he's got track and field speed, and obviously he's got the dynamics like that and the animation. That's animation too, right? If you can do that kind of stuff, and I don't know, man. That's definitely some positive stuff. But otherwise, I did notice Darrell Taylor came in. Finally, again, we were wondering if he was stalling out. Using that term a lot tonight, but in different ways. He's got his 5th sack of the year now. He had one today. I seen Irvin in there rushing people around, even though at his age, kudos to him. Otherwise, Tyler had a good night with helping the team where he could. Again, drawing that double coverage on DK's and doing the toe tap TD, which was, I thought that was way out of his catching range. I couldn't even believe that he got up there and got it and actually got two toes.
Yeah, I think bringing up Bruce Irvin's name, I was pretty impressed when he got that sack. Like I said, dude, like I think like the best part of the game, I mean, obviously it would have been awesome if our offense had put it together, but seeing our defense hold up in the red zone, because like even though like the Carolina continuously marched down the field throughout the entire game, like really with no pushback whatsoever, but as soon for some reason, dude, as soon as we get our guys down into the red zone, if they got to go toe to toe with us, when it comes to red zone play, our team feels like sometimes, man, depending on the matchups, it can be the best in the league in terms of that. I mean, like we stood them up so many times, and obviously towards the end, they scored, and the score got way too out of hand at that point. But I mean, again, if the offense had been doing what it's supposed to be doing, this would have been a completely different game based on the defensive performances, that we were seeing in the red zone.
And I got to walk back a little bit here and take a little bit away from Gino, because I think we're both forgetting about the running back room.
Yeah,
they are down. They are down.
Travis Homer was our number one back today.
Yeah, we were a little down in that dimensional side of our offense. So, sorry, Gino, we want to pull it back a little, because you have to have that dimension to be able to get that ball running before you can pass it. I'm glad he started running himself a little, because that's another dimension as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm nothing against Homer and Tony Jones. I wanted to almost see Tony Jones a little bit, but then more than Homer. And then the new guy,
Godwin.
It's Godwin.
Yeah, I cannot enunciate that last name.
So sorry, I'll get it.
Right, his kick returns though, dude. I mean, he got 104 yards on the kick return. I mean, he played really strong today. I mean, he did get the long 50-yard run there, dude, but man, he was balling out, dude. But yeah, they didn't even give him the ball for rushing. It was all Travis Homer and Geno Smith for the most part. I mean, Tony Jones had a 2-yard attempt, and then they gave it to Marquise Goodwin, and he had a negative 2-yard run.
Yeah. So I think Godwin, the first name, I'll get his last name. I think he probably didn't have enough of the confidence, or the team didn't have the confidence of the playbook on the running back side, but he is definitely obviously known as a good returner, and he showed that today.
He showed that.
Yeah. So I like that. And he, so yeah, my apologies anybody, but swear that's legit mistake right there. We both forgot about the running back situation being down. So I just wanted to put a lot on Gino, because he's just reckless today, kind of with the passing, and wasn't throwing it away
like
when he
two interceptions.
A couple were deflected that could have been intercepted.
Yeah,
he could have had 4 interceptions today, and it was ugly. And I was almost like, shut him down. I wasn't saying shut him down like that, but I mean, I'm at this point, I'm not ready to ever say bring in Drew Lock, because it's not nothing against Drew Lock. I'd be willing to see what Drew Lock brings. God forbid if Gino goes down or something like that. But it's not one of those things where Gino was performing solo that we wanted to bring in a different thing. Now, if it gets later in the year and we have no chance, that might be a different story. Bring in a different guy and give him some exposure. But Gino could have had a better day. I don't know. The running backs, maybe they just weren't experienced enough to help get us going, because it didn't seem like we had the running game today at all. And that's a big portion of, obviously, Pete Carroll's offense.
Yeah, I mean, Geno Smith did go 36 attempts, dude. So, I mean, it's quite a lot throwing, especially for Pete Carroll-led football team. I mean, that's all honestly kind of unheard of in a sense. We were completely shut out in the running game today. I mean, I think it is a good point for you to bring up, walking it back a little bit on Geno Smith, because sometimes we may come down a little too hard on these guys. But man, the emotions run strong. Obviously, we're recording immediately after the game, so you're getting first wave emotion, So we'll definitely have to sit back here the next 4 days as we prep for the San Francisco 49ers. Now we are 2 games back, so if somehow, some way we can go into Thursday, dude, we can knock them off. that puts us pretty much back into where we were sitting, before going into today's game. I really hope, man, because again, like I didn't get to watch any of the San Francisco Tom Brady, Tampa Bay game, but I mean, damn, the San Francisco came out balling today, dude.
Oh yeah, oh for sure. I bet on them in my little pick'em league because I don't want San Francisco to win, and I don't think San Francisco's usually that great at home, and they're on their third string quarterback, and it's Tom Brady. So I was like, if Tom Brady capitalizes on these moments, and it's not like Frisco has this biggest home field advantage. I fully thought Tampa Bay was going to go in there and take that win, and I fully thought we were going to take the win today, and I fully thought we were going to both be 8-5 and 4-1 in our division, and it was going to be the most highly matched, equally matched Thursday night football game that would bring the biggest audience, right? And it's still going to be a big deal. It's still going to be a really big game for Thursday night football. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, for us, essential. You and I talking about the playoff, like I said, let's talk after Thursday night because we will know a lot more then of what our chances are, if any, at that point.
If any. I think that's a key word, man.
Serious, yeah.
Going into Thursday, dude, we're gonna it's gonna open up we're gonna see the sky bright and wide, come Thursday, Friday morning in terms of where the Seahawks land moving forward. But I mean, I guess it is what it is, and we'll see what happens,
All those teams around us we can't control. They're going to keep either winning or losing, and those ones that are winning, if we're losing, they're going to just keep gaining, and we're going to keep going back. So, like I said, we only got a week or two, maybe, if you can agree, of a window to understand if we're even going to be in. So this next week with the division rival is very essential. To me, it's almost a double whammy. It's like you better capitalize on this one. If not, it don't look good at all. So.
Well, Rich, before we get out of here, I think it would be very undermined if I did not bring up the fact that the Kansas City Chiefs did defeat the Denver Broncos today, 34-28. Thus, the Denver Broncos have fallen to a 3-10 record. Thus, definitely holding up for that top five pick.
Top five
pick coming up here soon.
I can't believe Denver came back that much because last I looked, Kansas City was like 27-7 or something. So it must have Denver battled back. But did you see anything about Russell Wilson getting knocked out or something?
I saw during the halftime of the Seahawks game where it looked like that Russell had thrown a pick six, but I didn't see anything specifically about him getting knocked out. I was running around a lot today, so
I was too, and I was prepping for our little podcast. But I heard that last minute that he might have got hit so hard that he got knocked out on the field, and they had to bring him in the blue tent.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so if you could look that up real quick, I could stall some time with our listeners and figure out what else I can talk about, because we always have to touch base at the end of our podcast.
Oh, damn. Here it is right here, dude.
Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos. Mostly about the Broncos.
Russell Wilson injury update. Broncos quarterback ruled out with concussion after hitting head hard versus Chiefs. Then let's go back to that draft order, Rich. Damn, dude, we moved on. Okay, we may have lost today. Our playoff hopes may be in the in the balance here. We may or may not make it. But damn, dude, Denver is right now stands to have the number 2 pick. We have the number 2 pick in the NFL draft if the season were to end tomorrow, dude. Number 2 pick, dude.
Hey, check it out. And who do we have at the helm of all this? John Schneider. And that guy, look what he did this year. Dude, we could go on. I'm so excited. We got the picks. We got the capital. Business people talk about capital. We got it. We're ready. And we're not only that, we're a winning ball club. So we're attacking things from both sides. We got the capital. We got we're doing our own part. And yeah. And dude, I was going to tell you too, we got to start looking at not only quarterbacks, because if John Schneider doesn't see a quarterback that he wants, the ideal quarterback for Seattle, he won't pull the trigger. Let's start looking at those defensive ends.
I think so. Yeah.
As we close this out. So the one I'm talking about, and I took a note of it, is this Jalen Carter. He's from Georgia, and this guy's a beast. He's probably going to go in the top 5. So we got to start.
We have a top 2 pick right now, dude.
So. This guy's like, you were talking these Michael Bennett, Frank Clarks, these even Bruce Irvin early in these edge guys that can get after the quarterback. we don't necessarily need a rookie quarterback quite yet. The draft, we got more drafts from Denver next year. Denver might suck more next year, whatever. We can draft, but look, John Schneider's always going to get the best available player, and we need that defender. So keep an eye on, we'll start making note of defenders. Jalen Carter from Georgia. He's more of a defensive end, I believe. He rushes the quarterback, and let's start looking at him. And because I've been looking at the quarterbacks a lot now, but we'll see what the defenders start looking like too, because I want to start focusing on our next offseason so we can understand who our draft picks are going to be.
Well, let's just hope that let's just hope as we end this season here that the Houston Texans go on an awesome winning streak, and the Denver Broncos continue to lose. So then we can get that number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, if we get the number 1, John Schneider will make a great decision, I'm sure. Dude, that's the part. This is a little sideshow that we have. I'm loving the way our team's doing right now, and it's been great, pleasantly surprised about our team after losing our quarterback for many of years. And this little pick thing has been a great little sideshow, right? It's been fun to watch as well, and it's been developing. So it's kind of surreal in a lot of worlds, but it's a great time to be a supportive Seahawks fan. That's all I gotta say.
Exactly. Be very supportive of your Seattle Seahawks. Despite today's loss, Rich Harris, I'm very optimistic about the future going into next season and beyond. So with that said, any final words, Rich?
No, I'm just looking forward to seeing what happens on Thursday night. It's going to be very exciting, and we'll talk sometime thereafter on the weekend.
Sometime soon.
Probably this time at the latest next week. We don't have to be in a big hurry. Probably have some subject matter letting the whole weekend play out, right? So we'll just do it at the end of the week, right? Even though we're playing on Thursday, right? This is kind of a new.
I think so. Yeah, we'll see everybody a week from today, of course.
Yeah, because we got to let the rest of the weekend play out so we understand everything. Yeah, absolutely.
There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. For Rich Harris, I'm Kevin Porter. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
All right.
Can you win a game in the first quarter? No!